Thank you for coming by Tori Magoo 44. Today's the 24th of July. If for anybody new, I just did my escape series, how I escaped out of the Church of Scientology. And day 1 and day 2, this is day 3. All right, so I'm in Clearwater, Florida. Before I get into this, I have to give you a little backtrack, which is Bill Yachty was my auditor at Flag. In '89, they tried to kick me off of the Flag land base because of my medicine, right, for epilepsy. I fought it. And they all got crammed at the Flag land base, and it was okay that I had to do OT4 through 8. But Yachty stuck with me on that. He was a big help on that. And so there's definitely a good side to him, and that's why, I trusted him for as long as I did. Then, as I've told you, the top secret mafia thing came in, which he was running the volunteers for, which I was one of them. Unbeknownst to me, they were on the internet stopping free speech. Once I found out, I shortly after left Scientology forever. Okay, so now I do my escape 10 years ago, and I'm in Clearwater, Florida with Bob, Stacy, Jesse, Mark Bunker, and the LMT, Lisa McPherson Trust, which is a trust started in honor of Lisa McPherson, who died at the hands of the Church of Scientology. Okay, so I'm at Stacy's house. I'm pretty much in the guest room, on the internet, talking to people. People are calling me. That's my connection right now. I'm kind of afraid to go over to LMT still. It's like, I don't know about that. And I think they finally had taken me over there today on the 3rd day. And it was like, all these really nice people. And the amazing thing was tons of families. I mean, they were on the phone from like 8 in the morning until 6 or 7 at night, talking to families, trying to reconnect with their children, trying to find out where their children were that had joined Scientology, or their loved ones, or their husband, or their wife. It was a nightmare. I had no idea how bad it was. And I was just sitting with Jesse, listening to him try to help these people over and over and over. Okay, so there's that. I come back to Stacy's house. I'm up in the guest room, or, I think I was downstairs, and the doorbell rang. And I'm all by myself at Stacy's, at her house. And I open the door. And it's Bill Yachty, my auditor, and my old friend, right? And he goes, "Hi, Tori." And I go, "Hey, Bill, come on in." I knew they were going to fly him in. I knew they would. So I said, "Come on in." And he goes, "What is happening?" Right? Because you have to I posted Magoo left the building. I've left. He's in on all of it, I'm sure of it, because he works with OSA. Even though he's on staff at the Enhancement Center, which is now the Church of Scientology Sherman Oaks, has a CS, which is a top person, for that group. But he's also working with OSA on handling the critics on the internet, right? Which I had been working with him with. So he goes, "What's going on?" And I go, "Bill, it's too long a story to get into." And he goes, "Well, what's happened? What happened to you on OT7? And so I just basically tell him what happened to me, which was pretty much a nightmare. And, I've made different videos about it, but for me, it didn't work. For me, Barry Klein had always been promoting here in Los Angeles in the 90s or in the 80s. He was on OT7. They could heal people with OT7. So I was sure that's what OT7 was. You could heal people. And, of course, I got onto OT7, and there's nothing about that. To the point where I said, "Where's the Barry Klein rundown?" And they sent me to cramming, which is correction. And they said, "Tori, these are the policies of OT7. You know what I mean? And they have me read them, and they go, "That's it. That is it. That's all it is." And this happened for 7 years. I went back and back and back, and it just kept coming up. It was really a nightmare for me. And plus, I had all these other problems I was trying to handle, which OT7 was not addressing. So it was a really bad scene. At the end, they'd ended up invalidating mine and a bunch of other Scientology OT7, our clear state, which is, there's clear, OT1, OT2, OT3, OT4, OT5, OT6, OT7. If you look at it like a pyramid, right? Clear is kind of down here. And they had ended up invalidating a bunch of our states of clear. And so Bill goes, "Hang on, I'm going to go check your folders." And he comes back and he goes, "Tori, I want you to know something. What's happened to you is the worst thing case-wise that could happen to anybody on the planet. And we're going to fix it. All for free. We're going to repair everything." And I look at him and I go, "Bill, you couldn't pay me $1 million to pick up those cans with you. No, it's over." And he leaves and he says, "I promise I'll never disconnect from you." which he then managed to totally disconnect from me and do some other really nasty things. So Yachty, if you're listening to this, I really hope you remember what you originally got into Scientology for, because I promise you it was not to stop free speech on the internet. And I know you think you're handling the people that are hurting LRH, but you're not. You are creating more and more enemies, as I told the church, every day. The more you do this stuff, the more you do this creepy stuff, the more people come on and go, that's not right. That's what happened with the critics, and they built websites about all this. That's what happened with Anonymous. You said, get that Tom Cruise video off of YouTube, and they went, hey, you don't own YouTube. No. And, then you went after them and sent private investigators over to their houses. And so that's continued, you know what I mean? And you just keep doing screwy things to people and hurting them. And you know what? There's always going to be people standing up for people that are standing up for freedom. Always. And that's what it is. So that's what happened on my third day. I'll probably have a few days off, and then I'll tell you a little bit more what happened. But there you go. It was a very exciting time in my life. It still is an exciting time in my life. I mean, for anybody if you're thinking you can't leave, it is one of the greatest transformations you'll ever make. I mean, it has been for me. It's been fabulous. And it is thanks to everybody who helped me, everybody online, whether you ever even knew me or not. You have helped me tremendously, and I cannot thank you enough. And I will always be saying that because Andreas in Norway, and that's another fun thing. But anyway, that'll come out soon. I love you guys. Have a fantastic weekend. I'm going out to do some fun myself, and I greatly wish you a good weekend.